You just got put in charge of safety and you have no manual, you have no training, and you have no clue what you're supposed to do. Well, if that is you, then I've been there. I have felt exactly like that. And I've spent half a day on Google trying to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to be doing as a new safety manager. And I'm going to save you that time. I'm going to save you that stress, because in this episode, we're going to walk through step by step what you need to do to build a successful safety program from scratch. And stick around to the end, because at the end of the episode, I'm going to talk about how you need to handle your boss and the leadership at the company to make sure you get the right kind of buy-in from the company in order to be successful. So, let's dive in. Well, hey friend, David Sawyer here. I am a safety coach. I help busy safety managers like you prevent accidents and avoid OSHA. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to build a safety program completely from scratch. So if you are new to safety, if you're sitting in the seat and you've never sat there before, you're in the right place. But before I dive into the episode, let's talk about something that would help you a lot right out of the gate. If OSHA shows up at your company, you need to have a game plan. And that's why I put together an OSHA audit checklist, and it's completely free. You can go to my website, helpwithosha.com, and you can download a free OSHA audit checklist, and you can prepare your company and yourself as a safety manager. You can prepare for what OSHA wants and what they look for during an unexpected OSHA visit. So go to my website, helpwithosha.com, download a free OSHA audit checklist today. It will save you some stress. Now, let's dive into the episode. The very first thing you need to do if you are a brand new safety manager, you need to know your role. Know your role. Now, I can't say that phrase without thinking about The Rock, without thinking about WWE and The Rock when he says, you need to know your role. Well, when it comes to safety, it's really important that you know what is expected from you as a manager. So you want to get clarity from your boss, from the leadership group. What exactly am I in charge of? What is my responsibility? Because sometimes safety gets lumped in with HR, sometimes it gets kind of lumped in with maintenance, and we want to make sure there's clear lines of division so that you know exactly what you need to be working on. Are you in charge of the OSHA 300 log? Are you in charge of accident reporting? Are you in charge of training employees, or is that being handled by an outside group? You want to know exactly what you're in charge of. So clarity on your expectations and what authority you have, right? As a safety coach, I've worked with managers where they've told me flat out, I don't have any authority to do anything. All I can do is basically make recommendations. Now, hopefully you're in a better situation than that, but you need to know what is expected from you and where you can put the most energy and get the most progress in your job. So knowing your role is the very first step. After that, the next one is you got to know the lay of the land. Now, what I mean by that is if you are new to the company, you need to understand the industry and the company itself. So there's going to be some industry norms, some things that are common to the industry, and then there's going to be some things that are company specific. I can tell you, I came from the world of manufacturing and boat building and fiberglass production, and I moved into food processing. And when I did that, it was like a culture shock. I was really surprised at how different food processing was from fiberglass manufacturing. There was different hazards, there were different challenges, and as a whole, the company really handled safety a lot differently. So it's important for you to get a good lay of the land. For this, I would encourage you, go out and observe, talk to people, dig into the records of the company and find out exactly, where you need to focus your attention. Again, I say focus your attention because when you are new, you want to really get an idea of where the hazards are and where you need to focus. Which leads me to the third step, a big question. Now, if you've watched me for any length of time, you probably know what's coming. The big question you need to ask yourself is, how is someone going to get hurt doing this job? So when you go into each department, you're going to go, okay, where are the hazards? How is someone going to get hurt? Okay, we got somebody doing some welding over here. All right, I got some welding. I got some PPE. I got some different safety procedures we need to be following. And then you look over here and you see somebody driving a forklift. Okay, I got a forklift. You can see somebody over there and they're handling knives and box cutters. All right, I got other hazards there. So keep in mind, how is someone going to get hurt? Again, observe, talk to people, look at the documents and the records to find out how people have been hurt in the past. If you are the brand new safety manager and the company has never had a safety manager before, odds are there was an injury that caused you to show up. So learn exactly what happened. Learn the mindset of management and of supervisors. Now, the next step on the list, PTI 360. So in my Safety Starting Point online course, I talk about PTI 360 in depth. We go into it really deep. Here, I just want to give you a kind of a cursory overview. When it comes to safety, there are 3 pillars. There are programs. That means safety programs. There is training. So you're communicating what's in the programs to the employees. And then the third one is there's inspections and there's accountability, making sure that people are actually doing what you train them to do. And then you do around and around and around. PTI 360 means I'm updating my safety programs. I'm looking at my training to make sure I'm communicating the way it needs to. And I'm inspecting and verifying that people are doing what we train them to do. So programs, training, inspections. That big question that you asked earlier is going to really guide you. That's going to be your North Star when it comes to deciding where to focus your attention. So programs, training, inspections. The next thing on the list, you can't do it all by yourself, so you want to build a team. You want to have a safety committee. You want to have managers and supervisors that you can really trust. You want to have a leadership group that's got your back, that's going to support you when you roll out new safety incentives and safety procedures. So you can't do it all on your own. Now, this takes time. These are laid out as steps, but they're not necessarily linear, because when you're new to safety, one of the most important things you can do is get out on the floor. Number one, to see hazards and to find problems so you fix them before someone gets hurt. But the other reason is to build a rapport with employees and with managers and with crew leaders and with supervisors. You want to have a rapport where people know who you are, they know that you care about them, and they know that you are there to keep them safe. Your job as a safety manager is to make sure everyone goes home at the end of the day the same way they came in, 10 fingers and 10 toes. So making sure that you have built a team takes time and it takes effort, but remember, you can't do it all on your own. I've seen very, very talented managers just burn out because they try to do it all on their own. And the truth is that they got better skills. They might be smarter. They might know the industry better than everyone around them, but they can't do it all. And you as a safety manager, you can't do it all either. You have to have a team around you. Now, the next step, low-hanging fruit and planning. So when you find hazards and you find problems and you go, you know what, there needs to be a safety program for that. There needs to be a safety procedure for that. There's going to be a safety fix. We need to put a work order in for that. Some of these items are going to be easy to fix. Some of them are just low-hanging fruit. We know, hey, we got a receptacle that needs a cover on it. We got a fire extinguisher that's blocked. We got an exit door that the lights burn out on the exit sign. All these things are easy fixes, right? Easy peasy. That's low-hanging fruit. When you have something where you have to change behavior, right, where you tell employees, you know what, you've been doing it this way for a long time. It's a bad habit. We need to change it. Anytime you try to change behavior, that is more effort. It's more effort to change people's behavior than it is to just hang up an extinguisher and change out an exit light. So you want to make sure that you have the low-hanging fruit on a list that can get checked off quickly, and you are planning with your teams, your safety committee and your management team, you're planning with your team so that things are being fixed and corrected strategically throughout the year. Then the last thing I have, and this is why I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the episode, because this is what really, really brings it home. You have to get leadership buy-in. Now, I thought about leading the video with this because this is one of those controversial statements I'm going to say, but grassroots safety doesn't work. Safety cannot be built by the people on the floor, right? You just can't. It has to come from the top down. Safety has to come from the top down. The owner of the company, if he or she does not care about safety, that's going to ripple through the organization. You've got to have buy-in from upper management. So one of the most important things you can do as a new safety manager is meet regularly with upper management to make sure that you've got their buy-in, right? You want to build credibility with them. You want to show that you're preventing accidents, that you're saving money because your accidents are expensive, and the more accidents we prevent, the better we're going to be. So this comes down to metrics. You want to measure what matters so that you can get them to buy in. Dollars and cents you can measure. Accidents you can measure. Number of trainings you can measure. So you want to make sure you're measuring the right things to get the buy-in from leadership, because if you don't have buy-in from upper management, you're going to be spinning your wheels for a long time. And trust me, I work with safety managers where the organization has bought in to the philosophy, and it works like clockwork. It works amazing. And then I've seen companies where they didn't give a flip about safety, and the morale was in the tank, the quality was down, and employees didn't want to be there. And especially the safety manager, because when you're doing a job and nobody cares about what you're doing, it feels miserable. So with that in mind, keep in mind that you don't have to go it alone. I'm a safety coach. I work with busy managers every single day to help them prevent accidents and avoid OSHA. I've got a brand new safety membership that I'm starting up this fall, and it is a great way for managers to get networked and tied in with other managers so that we can all work together to make this process better. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Somebody has a safety program and a safety training and a way to do it that keeps people safe. All you have to do is make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you, get the buy-in from the upper management, and follow the steps that I just laid out. I have a course, I mentioned it earlier, called Safety Starting Point. And Safety Starting Point is all about helping new safety managers learn exactly how to build a safety management system that works. So if you want to check that out, you can go to my website, Help with OSHA. I would be glad to help you out with that. But until we talk again, do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.